Well, hello, everybody in Facebook land. This is Karen with Organizing for Good, and I'm here today to do the nonprofit shout out for this week. I'm here with Tammy Miller. She's the founder and executive director of the ATX Kids Club. Thanks for being with us today, Tammy.
Well, thank you, Karen. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So why don't you just go ahead and tell us about how you started with the ATX Kids Club and how all about the organization.
Sure. So I am originally from Pennsylvania, Maryland, and moved to Texas in 2008. I continued as a school teacher here when I arrived and taught first and second grade. Moved into a one-year opportunity to be the elementary school principal at that school. And through the time that I was here, I had some frustrations about the number of opportunities I had to get kids out of the classroom. Our ratios in Texas were a little bit higher than what I was used to, having moved from the Northeast. And I wanted to provide an opportunity for kids to really experience this amazing city that I intentionally moved to. And through all of my time with the different kids that I had, one of the things that really stood out for me in that experience at the Title I school that I was working at was how many children never really truly had the opportunity to step foot in the downtown Austin area. And so based on some of those experiences of listening to children, having never seen the city skyline, never really moved outside of their own neighborhoods, other than the few field trips we were able to take them on, I had this moment of clarity where I was like, okay, well, what could I do differently? How would I create an organization that really gets kids into the city to create the same level of love and passion that I have for the city that I live in? And that sort of was the start to ATX Kids Club. We started with a summer camp program in 2014, and I had the most amazing children and most amazingly supportive parents as I made my way through trying to figure out what exactly this organization was going to become. And quite honestly, it has a life of its own. You know, it was my idea to do this, but I don't take credit for what it's become. What it has become is due to the amazing support of the community, the staff that I've hired, all of the parents and the children that have participated in the organization. And so now, here we are, we just finished our 8th summer. What we do is we do a summer camp, a school holiday, and a Saturday program. Our summer camp program is the largest program that we run. It is a 12-week program, typically in a non-COVID year, and it's theme-based. So every week we focus on a different theme, and those adventures that we take are centered around that theme. So if we are going to have a nature week, then we're going to take the kids via Cap Metro, in a big shout out to Capital Metro for being a partner of ours. That's how we get the kids around the city of Austin. It keeps our overhead down, and it teaches children the amazing independence of being able to ride on a public transportation system to get around the city of Austin. So we have different parks that we have drop off and pickups at. The ratio is a 6-to-1 ratio for the most part. We do our best to stay within that and travel around the city of Austin. So for the Nature Week, getting back to that, we would explore the Zilker Botanical Gardens. We would explore the Greenbelt areas. We would explore the Umlauf Sculpture Garden. We would take the kids out to the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center, really with just a big focus on spending some time in nature, letting kids really have opportunities to see Mayfield Park and see the peacocks and see the koi fish and all that is wrapped around that.
All in the city.
Right, exactly.
You wouldn't expect, you know?
And so some of our other weeks that we focus on is Texas Week. Everybody loves Texas. University of Texas is right here in the heart of Austin. So we let the kids explore that university. There's an amazing turtle pond there. Most of my field trip leaders that I hire are students at the University of Texas. And so they know that university way better than I do.
Yeah.
And have access to a lot of the different buildings there. Diversity Week is another one of our weeks that we really want to teach children about other individuals that are different than themselves. So that would be a visit to the African American Heritage Facility, the Mexican American Cultural Center. We're getting ready to partner and have some of the kids from the Texas School for the Deaf are going to actually be participating with our kids for an upcoming week this coming summer. I'm super excited about that.
That's
and
great.
just really offering an opportunity for kids to be around peers that are different than themselves, learning about people that are different than themselves. We take a trip out to the Community First Village, which is an amazing place in Austin that was created for our homeless population. I mean, you just can't explain how much this hands-on, real-life opportunity does for not only the kids that participate in the program, but my field trip leaders that have equally many times not explored all of the places that we're sending them to. And at the end of it, I always, joke with my field trip leaders that they have literally become little tour guides. And, when the summer is over and their families visit, they now have a plethora of opportunities to take their families to and share with them the most amazing city, I think, in this country. And so ATX Kids Club focuses a lot on education, right? Like, obviously, that's the heart and soul of what we are doing, is educating the kids. As a school teacher, I'll never escape the love of having kids around me and getting to share all of the things that we know. And they're little sponges and they take it all in, and it's wonderful. And so on top of that, because of the way that we get around this amazing city is by Cat Metro, that means we also are walking a lot. And the importance of getting all of us, adults, children, all of us, walking more. We are in a time where we all need to focus on health and fitness and how to take care of our bodies. And so that is a huge element to what we do, is we get kids walking. We do have a big focus on the types of foods that we eat, really trying to eliminate those high sodium, high salt foods is important, because it's summertime for our largest program, which is super hot in Texas. And we have to be really cognizant of the amount of sugars and salts that we're taking in, as we're asking everyone in the group to be out there in 100-degree temperatures. And so I think, for the most part, that's really and truly what we do, is we get kids ages 4 to 12 into the city of Austin through the summer camp program. They go all different places. This past 2 summers has been very different due to COVID, but we are really hopeful that for 2022, we'll get back to our themed weeks. So that way you have kids signing up and coming for areas of interest for them. 2021 was basically a 10-week program that we did mixed themes. We just didn't have the number of places open and willing to accept groups. And so we just had to sort of mix it up, and there was a little bit more repetitive visits this summer than we would like. But we are super excited that we had a very successful 8th summer. And now we are shifting gears, moving into school holidays and Saturdays, which those programs are exciting because we typically expand our opportunity to go beyond the city limits. So we have 2 vans that allow us the ability to take kids down to the Science Mill Museum, to take kids to Waco, to take kids to San Antonio. We are getting ready to partner with a horse ranch in Wimberley, where kids will have opportunities on Saturdays to actually learn how to ride a horse. Yeah, we partner with another horse farm in Bastrop that focuses on retired horses, previously race horses, and how they care for them for their end of life. And just, getting kids out into these environments that you don't find in downtown Austin, right? And teaching kids what it means to have a horse, how to care for a horse, all that goes into that. We did a Saturday adventure at Horse Link in Bastrop, and a big shout out to Horse Link. And they actually, while we were there, had their, I'm not going to remember the name of the position, but the person who changes the shoes on a horse. And the kids got to observe how that happens, how that works. And I mean, just those are the moments where it's just, again, validation for all that we do in this crazy world that we live in. And with all of the isolation and all of the virtual, boy, we need this more than ever, to be out and about and having opportunities to explore and learn and see and do. And so I'm excited. We're getting signups for our school holidays. Our first one will be October 11th. And our Saturday adventures are coming up. We're going to do some reenactment visits to Camp Mabry, which will be fun. So that's truly, in a nutshell, that the program focus for ages 4 to 12. I would be remiss not to mention that we started a new program, amazingly, during COVID, a teen volunteer program.
Okay.
That I had no idea exactly how that was going to go, but I truly wanted an opportunity for kids that aged out of our program at age 12 to continue with the program as teen volunteers, to be mentored in leadership roles and learn what it means to be a field trip leader, learn what it means to be taking a group of young children around the city. And we had the most amazing, I mean, I can't even tell you how amazing the teens were that volunteered with our program this past summer. They had a 2-week minimum commitment, and they gave it their all. They made things so much easier for the group as a whole. The kids were able to connect with them. They left our organization equally more knowledgeable about the cities they live in, able to get around on Cap Metro. I mean, it makes it a full circle for the program. So our teen program starts at 13 and goes to age 17. We hope that those teens that came this year, as they move on to their college years, come back in the summer and help us. So that way, when they're at 18, 19, 20, they already know everything there is about our program, and they will make the most amazing hires for us.
Oh, yes. We love to hear that circle. It's so heartwarming. They enjoyed this program so much, your program, that they want to come back as a mentor. And that alone does something for them, and then so it's really a 2-step process. And then if they come back to be leaders, you're sculpting these minds for sure.
Yeah. So one of our campers in particular, who had been with me for several years as a camper and came back, and not only, what was he one of my most amazing teen volunteers, that he asked if he could do more than 2 weeks. And I was just so proud of him and so amazed by his stamina and willingness. And, we had some difficult kiddos, and that's the other part of this, right? Is that a lot of times these teens come in and, they have had experience babysitting or things of the sort, but it's a whole different ballgame when you are transporting kids around the city of Austin, and that level of responsibility that they have, even though they're with, a full-time hired person, it still is a lot. And, one of the things that the parent said to me after it was, this really gave us insight into the behind the scenes amount of work that is required to, run this program. Having him as a volunteer really gave us the insight into, oh my goodness, this is a lot.
They appreciated it a lot more. So how do folks sign up? Like if somebody wants to sign up to be part of your club, do you have like certain requirements? What do they need to do to be a camper or?
Yeah. So the majority of our advertising, quite honestly, is word of mouth. Our ratios, again, are small, and so we do have very limited space, and so we do fill up pretty quickly. And again, I have to give the credit to the parents who continue to send their kids to us and tell their neighbors and tell their friends. That's how we get the majority. Right on our website is a link to register. All of our adventures from now through the end of this year are up there and available for signing up and registering. We are a fee-based nonprofit. I come from a long history of business people in my family. And, it was definitely one of those learning experiences when I started the nonprofit to recognize how are we going to be financially secure and stable. And so while we are fee-based, we equally have a beautiful financial aid program. And I have not yet, had to turn anyone away for financial reasons. We did turn away quite a few people across the board this past summer just based on space. The need was so much greater than we were able to handle. And that was disappointing in a lot of ways to me that, we had so many families looking to get their kids involved, and we just, staffing was a huge struggle this past year, not only for us, it continues to be a huge struggle for all of the businesses that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And so the financial aid application is right on our website. We ask folks to be honest and tell us what can you afford, and we do the best that we can based on the funding that we receive, primarily from individuals. We do have monthly sustaining donors that graciously, from $20 a month up to $200 a month, that recognize and value what we're doing. And that money, goes directly to helping make sure that we never turn away a child and never say, I'm sorry, we can't meet your financial needs.
So, tell us a little bit more about how people can help you. What do you need? And tell me about your gala.
Yeah, so that has been rescheduled multiple times, and we're so super excited that the 2020 gala is now the 2021 gala, and will be October 21st at Mercury Hall, which again is something that we're excited about, because Mercury Hall, if you are a resident of Austin, hopefully you've been there, seen it, know about it, but they are closing their doors at the end of 2021. And so it's going to be a little nostalgic to be able to have our gala at this most amazing venue in Austin. It'll be from 5:30 to 9:30, family friendly. This will be our first one that we are inviting all of our children and families to come participate in our annual fundraiser. We will have games for the kids. Some of our field trip leaders will be coming and helping us make sure that they are having a good time as well. There'll be dinner, appetizers, dessert, a live auction, a chance raffle, just a lot of really, really fun. It's an amazingly fun time, I guess. Overall, that's my feeling of it each time we do it. And the reason we keep doing it is not just about raising money, but creating that sense of community, creating that opportunity for all of us to come together and celebrate what we've done over the past year as an organization and for the campers that have been involved. So that's going to be, like I said, October 21st. We're really excited about that. If anybody wants to make a donation, we're always looking for in-kind donations for the gala, whether you have a vacation home or a timeshare, whether you own a restaurant, gift cards are great. We have some amazing things that, we're looking forward to being able to auction off to help us raise those very, very needed funds it's been tough. It's been tough for every organization. And so I don't want to say that, I just want to be cautious of recognizing that we're all struggling. I think that all nonprofits and organizations in general have had a really, really hard time getting through COVID. While we thought that 2020 was going to be the hardest, I think 2021 was actually a little harder for us. We made the decision in 2020 to hold on to a lot of our credits as opposed to issuing refunds. We had parents so graciously allow us to hold those funds to be able to use those funds in 2021. Right, which was amazing, and it helped us be sure that we made it through 2020. But then, of course, you have to look forward and recognize that then that's money that has already come in 2020 and not money that's coming in 2021. And so when you look at the numbers at the end of 2021, you're like, wait, what happened? And I always say, I'm really, really good at planning adventures and doing all of the things that we do. But I'm certainly not an expert in financial forecasting. So we all have our strengths.
It's a different skill set.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm so excited about 2021 gala. I'm so excited about 2022. I already know that we have so many families looking forward to the school holidays and the Saturdays, and we open up our registrations for summer camp in January. And as crazy as it is, people are already saying, when are you going to have those weeks available for us to sign up for next summer?
Yeah.
That's super awesome. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're definitely, we feel all the things that you're doing. It's a wonderful thing that you're doing, and we know how hard it's been for our nonprofits. That's why we like to reach out and talk with everybody and get a feel for what's going on with you and what you need. So we appreciate you coming here today. Did you have anything else that you'd want to share with us? Stories? Anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that overall, one of the things that was really good for me this past summer is that in 2020, we had a program director, and that was incredibly helpful to the organization. And it was a huge loss when the end of that summer came along and we lost our program director. But at the same time, we recognized that from that financial perspective, it was probably a good financial opportunity for the organization to not be putting that money out, right? And so I made the decision in 2021 that I was going to wear all of the hats and be the program director as well as everything else.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it was wonderful. It was hard. It was very hard. But what was great about it is it gave me that opportunity to get back to boots on the ground, out there with the group, being with the group, being involved with what was going on, really, really firsthand out there, meeting the parents, meeting the kids on the adventures, traveling around, delivering water where I needed to deliver water because for whatever reason, we still have a huge number of water fountains that are not functioning in Austin right now. And so, constantly we needed to make sure kids had water and, or dropping off extra Band-Aids, extra water bottles, whatever it was. And just that for me, yes, COVID has definitely thrown some wrenches into how we're moving forward and changing things up a little bit. But it was a really good opportunity for me to get back to the root of why I'm doing this. And it's good to be reminded of that. When you have to work on a lot of the behind the scenes stuff to keep an organization going, sometimes you lose sight and you lose the joy. You lose the filling of the bucket. And I always say, send me out on an adventure with a child and my bucket will be filled immensely. And that was my opportunity this summer, is that I really got to spend time with the kids. And
Back to
And
your
so my
roots.
bucket is full. My bucket is full, and now we're moving in. I typically do the school holidays and the Saturday adventures with an assistant, and that's always super fun. But so that, I guess, as you look at you always have to find the silver lining, right? So often you can just feel so beaten down and so frustrated, especially in a nonprofit organization, because oftentimes you feel like all you're doing is asking people for things, asking people for money, asking people for donations of in kind, it's just this constant asking. And sometimes, as I said, that's not necessarily my area of expertise. My area of expertise is definitely being out with the kids. And so to bring it back around, just having that opportunity, that silver lining that showed itself this summer with me being able to be out there a lot more with the kids was wonderful and great. And I will live on that high for a while now of just knowing what a wonderful time we had.
Great. That's great, because you said you've been doing this eight years?
We just finished our 8th summer. I don't even know how that's possible. Yeah, it humbles me. It humbles me immensely all the time to realize, like I said at the beginning of this, it was just a little idea that I had, and it has turned into, I think, truly an amazing organization that reaches. We've had over 1,000 kids in Austin participate in our program, which
wow.
Yeah, right. And I know to some folks that doesn't sound like a lot when you look at bigger organizations. But I'm
with your ratios, right?
Right. I'm always going to go quality over quantity, always.
Yes.
And so for me, keeping it small, making sure that we're offering a really high quality program, and while that means that we don't have 20 kids to one field trip leader. It means that we're keeping it small. And so this new teen volunteer program has allowed us to, do 8 kiddos because that's, an adult with a teen. And so that does give us a little bit more openings for those families that are just trying desperately to get their kids in the program.
Well, so, I mean, there's opportunity for growth, to have another team, like 2 teams of 6 going out there. So as you grow, you can, expand, but still keep your ratios small and keep that family intimate, dynamic going,
Exactly. That's right. That's right. Yeah. For the school holidays and Saturdays, typically we'll have 2 different groups of 6. We try to do a south location is Garrison Park, and a north location is either Mueller Park or Brentwood Park. And the summer camp, this past summer and for the past 3 summers, we've done 4 different park locations. So, on any given week, we can have, anywhere between 24 and 30 kiddos out maneuvering their way through Austin. And everybody recognizes our green shirts. They're like, oh, you're the green shirt camp that rides on Metro. Yes, that's us.
Yeah, see, you're making your mark. You don't even realize, because maybe next summer, remember that those kids that had the green shirts, that was the kids club, right? And there you go.
And there you go.
You've got your advertising there.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear about this organization, because there's so many times that people, they live in their own little circle, and that, the parents live in the circle, so the kids live in the circle, and they don't know what's, 3 miles down the road in their own city, because that's just what we do, right? It's just what we do.
It is so true. Yeah.
And it's everywhere. I did junior achievement in a small town that was, 10 minutes from the bigger town, and there's kids that never been into the bigger town. So this, what you're doing, it expands their knowledge. I mean, taking them to the museums, taking them to the, different cultures. It's an amazing thing you're doing. And I'm so excited to learn about this.
Thank you. Yeah. You just made me think about, one of our favorite weeks of the whole year is our spring break week, where we take kids to a different state park. And as a person who loves to get out to state parks, again, that's just one of those favorite weeks. The kids typically don't always have opportunities to explore the state parks that are within an hour, hour and a half of downtown Austin.
Yeah.
And they each offer, every state park just offers something different, a different perspective of nature, whether it be on a lake with a beach, or whether you're in the middle of the woods with, some mountainous hills, if you will. It's super fun.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for this opportunity. We definitely love opportunities to share what we're doing, because we are small and we don't spend a lot of marketing dollars out there. So having been provided an opportunity to talk with you, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And we do love to check in with our folks. We've redone interviews like a year later, just to kind of see what you're up to, what's going on, what you need now. So we'll be in touch again, or if you have something going on and you want to come on, contact me and we'll get you on. And everybody out there watching, please like and share. We've got in the Facebook chat, I've put in the links so you can see their Facebook and their website, and also put a link to their gala. And then Ryan's Facebook channel has all of our previous videos. It's over a year's worth of videos on there, and there's some amazing stuff on there. So go there, like and share everything, subscribe to the channel, and talk about the things you see on these interviews. Places like the Austin, the ATX Kids Club will really appreciate that, and just get the word out there. We just love to hear any feedback. If you've got favorite places that you'd like us to spotlight, please shoot us a message, and we'll see what we can do to get these small nonprofits out there. We love to focus on the small ones to get them into their big zone. So thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for being here, Tammy. And we'll see you guys next week for Out Youth. We're going to be talking with them about their organization. So
another phenomenal organization. Yes.
Yes. And we love how our Austin organizations, everybody knows everybody, and you guys are like tight. We love that. We love that. All right. Thank you so much, everybody.